Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm Taki. We'll be having simple conversations to help you improve your speaking and listening skills.
No matter your level, you're welcome here. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's jump into the world of English together. Let's get started. Hey David, are you thinking about vacations yet? Summer's just around the corner.
Definitely. I'm itching to get away from the office for a while. We were thinking about heading up to the mountains for some hiking. How about you?
The mountains sound lovely. We were actually toying with the idea of a beach trip. There's this great all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean I've been wanting to try.
Ooh, all-inclusive sounds pretty tempting. Though, I do enjoy the challenge of a good hike in the fresh mountain air.
Don't get me wrong, I love a good hike too, but sometimes you just want to relax and not have to worry about anything. Just lounge on the beach with a fruity drink in hand.
True. Relaxation is definitely important. Maybe we could do a beach trip one year and a mountain adventure the next?
That's a great idea. We could even alternate who picks the destination.
Perfect. Though, I have to say, the thought of climbing a mountain after a week of cocktails on the beach might be a bit rough.
Maybe we can plan the mountain trip first then? Ease ourselves back into reality.
Sounds like a plan. Have you picked any specific dates yet?
Not yet, we're flexible. When were you thinking of going?
Well, we have that big project deadline at the end of July, so maybe sometime in August?
August works for me. I'll look into some flights and availability at the resort.
Great. We can compare notes in the break room later.
Sounds good. In the meantime, happy vacation planning.
Happy vacation planning to you too, Sarah. While you're looking into the Caribbean resort, have you considered how long we might want to go for?
That's a good question. A week seems like a nice amount of time to unwind completely, but 2 weeks might be pushing it budget-wise.
Agreed. 1 week sounds good. Maybe we can tack on an extra day on either end if the flights work out.
Perfect. There are also different room options at the resort. I saw everything from standard rooms to beachfront bungalows.
Beachfront bungalows sound tempting, but are they significantly more expensive?
Let me check. Yeah, they are quite a bit more. Maybe we can do a standard room for most of the stay and then splurge on a beachfront bungalow for the last night or two?
I like that idea. A little luxury to end the trip on a high note.
Exactly. Now about activities. The resort seems to offer all sorts of things, from water sports to cooking classes.
Cooking classes sound interesting, especially if they feature local Caribbean cuisine. We could try to recreate some of the dishes back home.
Great idea. We could also do some snorkeling or kayaking. Maybe even a day trip to explore a nearby island.
Sounds fantastic. This trip is already shaping up to be amazing.
I know, right? I can't wait to get out of the office and soak up some sun.
Me neither. Speaking of getting out of the office, maybe we can brainstorm some ideas on how to minimize our workload while we're gone. We don't want to come back to a mountain of work.
Absolutely. We could delegate some tasks to other team members and try to wrap up anything crucial before we leave. Maybe even put together an autoresponder email for any urgent questions.
Perfect. We can also make sure everything is documented clearly so whoever covers for us knows exactly where things stand.
Exactly. The last thing we want is to be stressed out about work while we're supposed to be relaxing.
Agreed. Hey, speaking of relaxing, did you mention what kind of fruity drinks they have at the resort?
You and your priorities, David. The website mentioned things like piña coladas, margaritas, and fresh fruit juices.
Sounds like paradise. Maybe we can even try learning a few basic phrases in Spanish before we go.
Now that's a great idea. It would be nice to be able to communicate a little better with the resort staff. There are probably some language learning apps we could check out.
Definitely worth looking into. This trip just keeps getting better and better.
I completely agree. All right, well, I should probably get back to work on that report, but I'll keep researching the resort and let you know what I find out.
Sounds good, Sarah. Talk soon.
Hey David, you won't believe it. I just found the coolest excursion offered by the resort. It's a bioluminescent bay kayaking tour at night.
Whoa, that sounds incredible. Do they have all the necessary equipment included?
Yep, it says they provide kayaks, life jackets, and even waterproof pouches for our phones. Imagine paddling through a glowing bay, it must be magical.
Definitely adding that to the itinerary then. Anything else you found out about the resort?
Actually, yes. They have a theme night every Friday, and this coming Friday during our trip is a Caribbean night. Live music, traditional food, the whole works.
Perfect. We can practice those Spanish phrases we were talking about. How are things coming along with the flight and hotel booking?
Almost there. I found some decent flight options, and the resort has a special package deal that includes the flight, accommodation, and even some meals. It seems like a good value.
Sounds good to me. Just let me know when you finalize everything and we can both book.
Will do. Oh, and I almost forgot. They have a spa at the resort offering all sorts of massages and treatments.
Sighs dreamily. Now you're really tempting me. Maybe we can schedule a couple's massage for one of the days.
Sounds like a perfect way to unwind completely. All right, well, I really do need to get back to work now, but this vacation planning is getting me so excited.
Me too, Sarah. Talk later.
Hey David, quick question about the bioluminescent bay tour. I was reading the reviews online and some people mentioned needing to be comfortable swimming. Are you okay with that?
That's a good point. The description I saw didn't mention swimming, but maybe it's in case you accidentally tip over in the kayak?
It could be. I wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable on the trip. Maybe we can email the tour company directly and ask for clarification.
Definitely. Safety first. While we're at it, maybe we can inquire about any restrictions on what we can bring on the kayak. Cameras for photos would be a must, of course.
Absolutely. Imagine capturing the bioluminescence on camera. Though some reviews mentioned it's difficult to photograph.
True, but it wouldn't hurt to try. We could also ask about what to wear. The evenings might be cool on the water, even in the Caribbean.
Great suggestion. Packing for a beach trip can be tricky, especially when you factor in activities like kayaking.
Maybe we can pack some quick dry clothes and water shoes for the tour. Those would be comfortable on the kayak and dry quickly if we do get a little wet.
Perfect. All right, I'll fire off an email to the tour company and see what they say. In the meantime, have you thought about what to pack for the Caribbean night?
Not really. Light and breezy clothes, I suppose. Maybe a nice button-down shirt for dinner if it's a bit more formal.
Sounds good. They might even have a dress code for the theme night, so maybe we can ask the resort about that as well.
Good thinking. This trip planning is getting more detailed by the minute, but it'll definitely ensure we're prepared for everything.
Exactly. The more prepared we are, the smoother the trip will go. All right, well, I'll get that email sent off and let you know what the tour company says. David, I just heard back from the bioluminescent bay tour company. Good news, swimming isn't mandatory. They said it's more for people who might feel more comfortable if they accidentally tip over in the kayak.
Oh, that's a relief. I wouldn't want to hold you back if I wasn't comfortable swimming in the dark either.
Exactly. They also said cameras are perfectly fine on the tour, but recommend waterproof cases just in case. As for what to wear, they suggested light, breathable clothing and shoes that can get wet.
Sounds like we're on the right track with our quick dry clothes and water shoes then. Did they mention anything about tipping over being a common occurrence?
Actually, they said it's pretty unlikely as the kayaks are very stable. They mostly included that info to be cautious.
Phew, good to know. This kayaking adventure sounds a lot less daunting now. Anything else interesting in the email?
Yes, they offer a discount for booking the tour in advance, so we should snag those spots before they fill up.
Great thinking. Let's do it. While you're booking the tour, did you hear back from the resort about the Caribbean night dress code?
Not yet, but I sent a follow-up email this morning. Hopefully, they'll get back to me soon. In the meantime, I was thinking about packing a swimsuit for the resort pool. Do you think 1 or 2 would be enough?
2 might be a good idea, especially if we plan on spending a lot of time by the pool. They might take a while to dry completely in the humid Caribbean air.
True. All right, well, I'll keep an eye on my inbox for the resort's reply and get those kayak tour spots booked. This trip is really coming together.
That's fantastic, Sarah. Securing those bioluminescent bay tour spots in advance is a smart move. It sounds like an unforgettable experience for sure.
Absolutely. Just booked them. We're officially going kayaking in a glowing bay. Speaking of unforgettable experiences, did you see the pictures online of the sunset cruises offered by the resort? They look amazing.
I hadn't seen those yet, but a sunset cruise sounds perfect for a romantic evening. Maybe we can book one for the last night of the trip?
Great idea. It would be a wonderful way to end the vacation. Perfect. They have a couple different cruise options available. One includes a catered dinner with live music.
Sounds fancy. Maybe a bit too fancy for the last night after a week of indulgence, but there's also a simpler option with just drinks and snacks. That might be perfect for watching the sunset.
You're right, the simpler option sounds more relaxing. We can always grab a nice dinner at the resort after the cruise. All right, I'll add that to the itinerary. Have you started thinking about what to pack for all these activities?
Slowly but surely. The kayaking tour email mentioned mosquitoes, so maybe some bug spray would be a good idea. And sunscreen, of course, is essential for a beach trip.
Excellent points. Maybe a hat with a brim for extra sun protection? And don't forget a light rain jacket in case of a surprise shower. Caribbean weather can be unpredictable sometimes.
Good call on the rain jacket. Packing for a beach trip always seems deceptively simple, but there's definitely more to it than just swimsuits and flip-flops.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I should probably get back to my workload and finalize some things before we leave. We can revisit the packing list closer to the departure date.
Sounds good to me. Talk soon, Sarah. And hey, maybe we can brainstorm some fun cocktails to try at the resort while we're at it?
Love that idea, David. Talk later.
Hey Sarah, how's the vacation planning coming along? Did the resort get back to you about the dress code for Caribbean night?
Hey David. Things are going well. The resort actually just responded about the dress code. It's resort casual, so think nice sundresses, light button-down shirts, and comfortable shoes.
Perfect. That sounds easy enough to pack for. Now we can finally decide what to wear to impress the locals with our newfound Spanish phrases.
Exactly. Speaking of Spanish, did you find any language learning apps that caught your eye?
Actually, yes. There's this one app that uses games and interactive exercises to teach basic phrases. I downloaded it this morning and played around with it a bit. Seems pretty user-friendly.
Great. Maybe we can challenge each other to learn a few key phrases before the trip. Things like hello, goodbye, please, thank you, and maybe even one piña colada, please.
That last one is definitely essential. All right, I'm in. Challenge accepted. We can test each other's Spanish skills over lunch today.
Perfect. And speaking of food, have you thought about trying any local Caribbean cuisine besides what they might offer at the theme night?
Actually, yes. I found a few restaurants online that specialize in fresh seafood dishes. Maybe we can try one for lunch or dinner one day.
Yum, that sounds delicious. We can alternate between fancy resort meals and exploring the local flavors. This trip is really shaping up to be a perfect balance of relaxation and adventure.
Absolutely. I can't wait to escape the office routine and soak up some Caribbean sun with you. Are you starting to feel the pre-vacation excitement yet?
You bet I am. Every time I close my eyes, I can practically picture myself swimming in the crystal clear water and kayaking under the glowing stars. Just a few more weeks to go.
Me too. In the meantime, let's keep this vacation planning momentum going. Maybe we can make a list of things we want to see and do outside of the resort. Any ideas?
Great suggestion. We could explore the nearby town, maybe visit a local market or historical site. There might even be some hiking trails in the area for a change of scenery.
Those all sound fantastic. We can solidify our plans based on what the area has to offer and how much time we want to spend lounging by the pool.
Exactly. All right, well, I should get back to work, but I'll keep researching things to do in the area. Talk soon, David.
Sounds good, Sarah. Let me know if you find anything particularly interesting. In the meantime, I found a website that lists some day trip options from the resort, including a catamaran sailing trip to a secluded beach.
Oh wow, a catamaran sailing trip sounds amazing. Perfect for relaxing and taking in the beautiful Caribbean scenery. Maybe we can do that the day after the bioluminescent bay kayaking for some post-adventure chill time.
Sounds pretty idyllic. Perfect. We can work that into the itinerary. Speaking of the itinerary, are you thinking of putting together a more detailed schedule for the trip, or are we happy to wing it a bit?
Good question. A loose schedule might be nice to have a general plan, but I also like the idea of being flexible and spontaneous. Maybe we can break it down day by day with some key activities and leave room for exploring or relaxing as we feel like it.
I like that approach. We can schedule things like the bioluminescent bay tour and the sunset cruise in advance, but leave the rest of the days open for adventure or poolside lounging.
Exactly. We can also factor in some downtime in the schedule for catching up on sleep or reading a good book under a palm tree. Vacation is all about relaxation after all.
Absolutely. This trip is shaping up to be the perfect mix of activity and unwinding. Maybe we can designate specific afternoons for pool time and happy hour cocktails.
Now you're talking my language, David. All right, I should probably wrap up for the day, but I'll put together a draft itinerary based on our discussions and send it over to you tomorrow. We can finalize it together.
Sounds good, Sarah. Talk to you tomorrow and happy planning.